Welcome back to Infidelity Tales Lab. We're incredibly grateful for your support. Before we begin today's tale, tell us, which city or country are you joining us from? We love connecting with our global audience. Now, let's dive into today's story. Chapter 1, Long Hours. Dr. Samuel Hurley gripped the operating room table, his knuckles white as he fought to save yet another gunshot victim in Boston General's emergency department. At 45, these overnight trauma surgeries had become as routine as breathing, but they extracted their pound of flesh with each passing year. BP dropping, Doctor. Nurse Pamela Mahoney's steady voice cut through the metallic smell of blood and antiseptic. Her eyes met his over her surgical mask, conveying the urgency they both felt. Push another unit, Sam commanded, his hands never stopping their precise movements inside the patient's chest cavity. We're not losing this one. 3 hours later, Sam stripped off his blood-stained scrubs and leaned against his office wall. The victim would live. Another life saved. Another family spared the grief of losing a loved one. The irony wasn't lost on him as he checked his phone. 3 missed calls from Trevor, his 17-year-old son, and 1 text from Tasha, his wife of 15 years. Working late again? Don't wait up. The message from Tasha carried its usual veneer of understanding, but Sam detected the underlying accusation. He didn't bother responding. Dr. Hurley? Pamela Mahoney stood in his doorway, her scrubs changed but her face still showing the fatigue of their marathon surgery. Got a minute? Sam gestured to the chair across from his desk. Pamela had been his right hand in the ER for over a decade, and her intuition about people had saved more than just patients. You've been pulling double shifts 3 times this week, she began, her tone careful. I've seen this before, Sam. My sister Catherine. She was married to a surgeon at Mass General. The hours, the distance. It destroyed her marriage before she even realized what was happening. I appreciate the concern, Pam, but my family understands the demands of my position. Sam's tone carried a finality that would have deterred most people. Pamela leaned forward, her expression grave. Do they? Because I've seen Tasha at Maxwell's Bistro twice this week during lunch. Both times with Wayne Kennedy from the board. Sam's expression didn't change, but something dangerous flickered in his eyes. Hospital business, I'm sure. Wayne oversees our equipment contracts. Sam, Pamela hesitated, then pushed forward. The second time, they weren't discussing contracts. They were holding hands across the table, and they left together. The silence that followed was heavy with unspoken implications. Sam's jaw tightened imperceptibly, but his voice remained steady. Thank you for telling me, Pam. I'll handle it. As Pamela left his office, Sam's phone buzzed with another text. This time from Trevor. Dad, need to talk. Important. The drive home gave Sam time to process Pamela's revelation. The signs had been there. Tasha's increased business lunches, her new wardrobe, the subtle changes in her behavior. He'd ignored them, buried himself in his work instead. But Sam Hurley wasn't a man who tolerated betrayal. He found Trevor waiting in the kitchen, unusually subdued for a teenager who typically radiated restless energy. Dad, I messed up. Sam studied his son's face. Trevor had Tasha's features, but Sam's intensity. What happened? Trevor's hands shook as he pulled out a small bag of pills from his pocket. I took these from Mom's sample case. Been selling them at school. Got caught today, but the principal agreed to keep it quiet if... He swallowed hard. If we handle it internally... Sam took the bag, recognizing the prescription medications immediately. His mind raced through the implications. His son dealing drugs, Tasha's pharmaceutical samples being stolen, the school's discretion bought with their family's reputation. Does your mother know? Trevor shook his head. No, Aunt. Dad, there's more. I've seen things, heard things about Mom that... Not now. Sam cut him off, his decision already made. First, we deal with this. You're grounded indefinitely. No car, no phone except for emergencies, no computer except for schoolwork. You'll volunteer at the hospital's addiction clinic every weekend. See what happens to people who abuse these drugs. Yes, sir. Trevor's relief at avoiding worse punishment was palpable. And Trevor? Sam's voice carried a weight his son had never heard before. We keep this between us. Your mother doesn't need to know. Not yet. Upstairs, 14-year-old Amy sat cross-legged on her bed, her laptop open to her anonymous blog, MedKids Confessions. Her latest post detailed the subtle signs of a family crumbling under the pressure of medical careers, though her followers didn't know she was writing about her own life. Post number 127. When your dad's pager becomes your lullaby and your mom's smile looks rehearsed, you learn to read the silences. They think we don't notice the empty chairs at dinner, the separate bedrooms disguised as different schedules, the way they talk about everything except what matters. In her office at Boston General, Gary Valentine, the hospital administrator, frowned at his computer screen. The equipment contract numbers didn't add up. Wayne Kennedy's latest proposals showed irregularities that set off alarm bells from his years in healthcare management. "Sir?" His assistant interrupted his analysis. "Dr. Hurley's wife is here to see board member Kennedy." Gary watched through his office window as Tasha Hurley walked past, her designer outfit and confident stride marking her as someone who knew exactly what she wanted. He'd seen that look before on other spouses who viewed the hospital's hierarchy as a ladder to be climbed. Later that night, as Sam performed another emergency surgery, Pamela Mahoney made a decision. She pulled up her sister's old emails, documenting the systematic destruction of her marriage by predators in the medical community. The parallels were too strong to ignore. "Dr. Hurley," she called out as they finished the surgery. "Remember what I said earlier? There's more you need to know. What happened to Catherine, it wasn't an isolated incident. These things, they follow a pattern." Sam's eyes met hers over his surgical mask, and Pamela saw something that made her step back. A coldness, a calculation that reminded her that beneath his professional exterior, Sam Hurley was not a man to be underestimated. "Tell me everything," he said, his voice carrying the same precision he used in surgery. "Every detail, every pattern. It's time I started paying attention to my own house." As they talked in his office, Sam's phone lit up with another text from Tasha. "Emergency meeting with clients." "Don't wait up." He read it twice, his expression unchanging, but his grip on the phone tightened until his knuckles turned white. Across town, in a private dining room at Maxwell's Bistro, Wayne Kennedy raised his glass to Tasha Hurley. "To new partnerships," he smiled, unaware that his carefully constructed world of manipulation and exploitation was about to face a surgeon's ruthless precision. Tasha clinked her glass against his, her laugh carrying the perfect note of sophisticated flirtation. "To partnerships," she agreed, not knowing that her husband had already begun gathering the threads that would unravel her carefully constructed facade. At home, Trevor stared at his computer screen, his finger hovering over the delete key. The FaceTime conversation with Benny Riley contained evidence that could destroy his family, or save it. Down the hall, Amy added another post to her blog, unknowingly documenting the calm before the storm. And in his office at Boston General, Sam Hurley began his own operation, one that would require more precision and ruthlessness than any surgery he'd ever performed. The man who had dedicated his life to saving others was about to prove that healing sometimes required cutting out the disease at its root. Chapter 2. The Truth in Pixels. The night Sam discovered the truth started like any other rare evening off, with the intention of reconnecting with his children. Instead, he found himself standing in Trevor's doorway, watching his son hastily minimize a screen on his laptop. "Everything okay?" Sam's question carried more weight than usual, his recent conversations with Pamela Mahoney having sharpened his attention to detail. Trevor's hesitation was brief but noticeable. "Yeah, just homework." The lie sat poorly on his face, much like the forced casualness in his posture. "Show me." It wasn't a request. Sam's tone carried the same authority he used in the operating room, the voice that expected and received immediate compliance. Trevor's resistance crumbled under his father's unwavering stare. He maximized the window, revealing a FaceTime conversation with Benny Riley. The chat history scrolled up the screen, each message adding another crack to Sam's carefully maintained composure. "Dad's at the hospital again. Mom's with Wayne K. third time this week." "Seriously? Same hotel?" "Yeah, the Beacon. She uses Dad's credit card. He never checks the statements." Sam's hand gripped Trevor's shoulder, his fingers pressing harder than necessary. "How long?" "Dad, How long?" Trevor swallowed hard. I found out 3 months ago, but it's been going on longer. There's more. His fingers moved across the keyboard, pulling up saved screenshots and browser histories. The evidence was damning, not just of Tasha's infidelity, but of a larger pattern. Wayne Kennedy wasn't just having an affair with Sam's wife. He was grooming Trevor, offering him internships, mentorship, using the boy's guilt and ambition to ensure his silence. Alberto Cervantes and Ross Hooper. Sam read the names from Trevor's saved messages. Who are they? Mom's other friends? Trevor's voice cracked. They're all connected to the hospital somehow. Suppliers, administrators, board members. They help each other, cover for each other. Sam's expression remained neutral, but his eyes held a dangerous gleam. Show me everything. For the next hour, father and son pieced together a digital trail of betrayal. Trevor's browser history revealed searches for emancipation laws and offshore accounts. He'd been planning his escape, funded by blackmailing his mother's lovers. I couldn't take it anymore, Trevor admitted, his voice small. I thought if I had enough money, I could just leave, start over somewhere else. Sam's phone buzzed, a text from his old college friend, Detective Ronnie Loomis. Need to talk. It's about the Parker case. The Parker case? Trevor asked, recognizing the name. Wasn't that the doctor's wife who died in that car accident last month? Sam's jaw tightened. It wasn't an accident. Diana Parker had threatened to expose her husband's involvement in a medical supply kickback scheme. Ronnie's been investigating a series of similar incidents. The pattern emerged with horrifying clarity. Wayne Kennedy and his associates weren't just exploiting medical professionals' families. They were eliminating threats to their operation with brutal efficiency. Dad? Trevor's voice shook. What are you going to do? Sam stood, his decision already made. First, I'm going to make a call. Then, we're going to have a family meeting. It's time to clean house. In his home office, Sam dialed Ronnie Loomis's number. The detective answered on the first ring. Sam, I was just about to call you again. We need to talk about your wife. You have my attention. Diana Parker wasn't the first. We've identified 6 suspicious deaths in the past 2 years, all spouses of medical professionals who were about to expose similar schemes. All ruled accidents or suicides. Sam's free hand clenched into a fist. Wayne Kennedy's name ever come up in your investigation? A pause. How did you know? Let's just say I've had an enlightening evening with my son. We need to meet. Tonight. The usual place. And Sam, watch your back. These people, they're not just criminals. They're predators who've perfected their hunting grounds. After hanging up, Sam stood in the hallway, listening to the sounds of his house. Amy's typing from her room, the soft click of keys painting a digital picture of their family's dissolution. Trevor's pacing, the weight of secrets finally shared making his footsteps heavy. His phone buzzed again. Tasha, late meeting with Wayne about new contracts. Don't wait up. Sam typed back, of course. Take your time. His fingers moved with surgical precision, each letter a carefully measured incision in what would become his most complex operation. In her room, Amy added another post to her blog. Sometimes the biggest lies in medical families aren't about missed dinners or forgotten promises. They're about the things we pretend not to see, the truths we bury under layers of silence and success. Sam read the post over her shoulder, making her jump. Dad, I didn't hear you. An interesting perspective, he said quietly. How long have you been writing about us? Amy's face paled. It's not. It's anonymous. It's good, Amy. Very observant. You notice things others miss. He paused, considering. How would you like to help me with a project? One that requires your particular talent for observation. In the master bedroom, Sam opened Tasha's laptop. Her password, Trevor's birthday, betrayed a sentimentality that her actions didn't match. The emails confirmed everything. Meetings disguised as business lunches, hotel reservations charged to his credit card, appointments with Wayne Kennedy that extended long past business hours. But it was the hidden folder labeled insurance that made his blood run cold. Documents, photos, recordings, evidence of similar schemes at other hospitals. Tasha hadn't just betrayed him. She'd become an active participant in Wayne Kennedy's operation. Sam's phone buzzed one final time that night. Pamela Mahoney. Found more info about my sister's case. You need to see this. It's bigger than we thought. Tomorrow, he texted back. I'm about to have a family meeting. He stood at the top of the stairs, calling out with a voice that brooked no argument. Trevor, Amy, living room. Now, as his children assembled, Sam Hurley began formulating a plan that would require all his surgical skill. Not to heal, but to excise the cancer that had invaded his family. Wayne Kennedy and his associates had made a fatal mistake. They'd assumed that a man who dedicated his life to saving others would be too weak to destroy them. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Chapter 3. Digital Breadcrumbs. Luz Lewis hunched over her keyboard in Boston General's IT department, her fingers flying across the keys as she pursued a digital trail that grew more disturbing with each discovery. The clock on her screen read 2:37 a.m., the perfect time for the kind of digging she'd been doing since Dr. Hurley approached her 3 days ago. I need access to certain records, he'd said, his expression giving nothing away. Administrative files, board meeting minutes, equipment contract databases. Luz had studied him for a moment before responding. Like the ones Wayne Kennedy tried to bury last month? A flicker of interest crossed his face. You've been watching him. I've been watching all of them. Luz pulled up a secured folder on her computer. 2 years ago, my fiancé, Dr. Marcus Chun, was a surgeon at Memorial. He killed himself after getting involved in one of Kennedy's special projects. At least, that's what the official report says. Now, as she compiled the evidence she'd gathered, her phone buzzed with a text from Sam. What did you find? The answer took form as she typed. Kennedy's not just running equipment scams. The contracts are cover for something bigger. Your wife's meetings with him? They sync perfectly with large transfers from offshore accounts. Sam's response was immediate. Show me. In the hospital security office, Ricky Delgado reviewed the surveillance footage from the past month. 20 years as a cop before becoming security chief had taught him to trust his instincts, and something about Wayne Kennedy's late-night visits had triggered every alarm bell he possessed. Chief! One of his officers called from the Monitor Bank. Dr. Hurley's here. Ricky looked up to see Sam Hurley standing in his doorway, his expression unreadable. Doctor, a bit late for a social call. I need to know what you have on Wayne Kennedy. Ricky leaned back in his chair, studying the surgeon. Interesting question from someone whose wife meets with Kennedy 3 times a week. That's exactly why I'm asking. A moment of understanding passed between the two men. Ricky reached into his desk drawer and pulled out a thick file. Been building this case for 6 months, he said, spreading photographs across his desk. Kennedy's Charity Foundation? It's moving money through shell companies. Each one connects to a different hospital board member or administrator. Sam studied the photos, surveillance shots of meetings, documentation of wire transfers, patterns of late-night hospital access. You've been thorough. Had to be. These people, they're careful, professional. They target hospitals because medical professionals make perfect victims. High stress, long hours, complicated family lives. Ricky's eyes met Sam's. And they're used to keeping secrets. Sam's phone vibrated. A text from his brother Ray Lynch. The former military intelligence officer had been running his own investigation since Sam's late-night call 2 days ago. Got something? Ray's message read. Meet me. Usual place. Bring your IT friend. The usual place was a 24-hour diner 3 blocks from the hospital. Ray sat in a corner booth, his laptop open, his military training evident in how he'd positioned himself to watch both entrances. Luz Lewis. Sam made the introduction as they sat down. The one I told you about? Ray nodded, turning his laptop around. Your hospital's not the first target. Found similar patterns in 5 other major medical centers. They picked their targets carefully. Successful doctors with troubled marriages, administrators with gambling debts, board members with secrets to hide. Luz leaned forward, her expertise allowing her to spot patterns in the data others might miss. These access logs, they match the timestamps from our system. Kennedy's using the same backdoor at multiple hospitals. It gets worse. Ray pulled up another file. Remember Diana Parker? Found these in her cloud storage. He showed them emails between Diana and several other doctors' spouses, all discussing similar schemes at their hospitals. She was building a case, Sam realized. That's why they killed her, and made it look like an accident, Ray confirmed. These people have resources, connections. They've been doing this for years. Sam's phone buzzed again. Pamela Mahoney, emergency room. Now, you need to see this. In the ER, Pamela pulled Sam into an empty trauma room. Remember I mentioned my sister? Found her old journals. She documented everything. Names, dates, patterns. Wayne Kennedy's name shows up 3 years ago, connected to her husband's hospital. What happened to her? Official report says suicide. But she left me a letter, told me to keep these safe. Pamela handed him a USB drive. Everything she collected about the operation. She knew they were coming for her. Sam pocketed the drive, his mind already connecting the pieces. The picture emerging was darker than he'd imagined. A sophisticated network preying on medical professionals and their families, using their vulnerabilities to build an empire of corruption. His phone lit up with a text from Tasha, working late with Wayne. Important contracts to review. Sam typed back his usual response, but his fingers moved with deadly purpose. The surgeon who'd spent his life healing was preparing for a different kind of operation, one that would require excising the cancer that had infected not just his family, but the entire medical community. Ray, he called his brother. I need surveillance on the Beacon Hotel. Tonight. Already on it, Ray replied. Got 2 teams in place. You sure you want to see what they'll find? I need evidence. Concrete. Undeniable proof of everything. Luz spoke up from her laptop. I can get into the hotel security system. Give your teams better coverage. Do it, Sam ordered. And Ricky? I need access to Kennedy's office tonight. The security chief nodded. System maintenance scheduled for midnight. Cameras will be down for exactly 30 minutes. As the pieces of his plan fell into place, Sam received one final text. This one from Trevor. Dad, Mom's taking files from your office, moving them to her car. Sam's expression didn't change, but something dangerous flickered in his eyes. The game was moving faster now, pieces shifting on the board. But Sam Hulley hadn't become one of Boston's top trauma surgeons by being unprepared. Everyone, he addressed the group, it's time. Tonight we gather everything. Every piece of evidence, every connection, every pattern. Wayne Kennedy and his associates think they've built an impenetrable system. They're about to learn how wrong they are. As the others moved to their assigned tasks, Pamela caught Sam's arm. This is dangerous, Sam. These people, they've killed to protect their secrets. Sam's response carried the cold precision of a surgeon facing a particularly challenging operation. Then we'll have to make sure our first strike is lethal. The night stretched ahead, full of purpose and precision. In the ER, Sam continued to shift as if nothing had changed, his surgical skills never sharper. But beneath the professional exterior, a storm was gathering. One that would cleanse the corruption from his hospital with the same ruthless efficiency he used to remove disease from his patients. Aita had set the stage. The facade was cracking, revealing the rot beneath. Sam Hurley, the dedicated surgeon and betrayed husband, had become something else, a hunter gathering his weapons, preparing to strike at the predators who'd invaded his domain. The night shift that had hidden so much deception was about to witness a different kind of operation. One that would require all of Sam's skill, precision, and ruthlessness to complete. Chapter 4, Silent Strike. Sam Hulley sat across from Gloria Winters in her downtown law office, his expression carved from stone as she reviewed the evidence he'd gathered. This is comprehensive, Gloria said, spreading the documents across her mahogany desk. Most clients come to me with suspicions. You brought me a case. I believe in being thorough. Sam's voice carried the same controlled precision he used in surgery. Pamela Mahoney recommended you specifically. Gloria's eyes flickered with recognition. Yes, ER nurse. She mentioned you might contact me. She paused, selecting her next words carefully. What she didn't mention was that your son Trevor sold prescription medications to my daughter Sarah. Sam's posture shifted imperceptibly. Is that going to be a problem? On the contrary, Gloria leaned forward. It gives me additional motivation to help dismantle this operation. My daughter wasn't just buying pills. She was being groomed as their next target. Wayne Kennedy's organization doesn't just destroy marriages. They create generational damage. Sam's phone buzzed. A text from Wano O'Connor, the realtor he'd contacted about listing the house. My brother Les needs to meet you. He has information about similar cases. Gloria, Sam's voice cut through her review of the documents. What do you know about Les Beard? The private investigator? Gloria's expression sharpened. He specializes in medical profession cases. His father was a surgeon at Mass General until Wayne Kennedy's group destroyed him. Les has been building cases against them ever since. Set up a meeting. 2 hours later, Sam sat in Les Beard's cluttered office, surrounded by case files and surveillance photos. Les, a former cop with hard eyes and a prosecutor's mind for detail, laid out a pattern that spanned multiple states. They target teaching hospitals first, Les explained, pinning photos to a board. Board members like Kennedy identify vulnerable medical professionals, ones with troubled marriages, financial problems, or family issues. Then they move in. Show me their methodology. Les pulled up files on his computer. They start with the spouses. Luxury goods, attention, the promise of status. Once they're hooked, they use them to gather intelligence on other potential targets. Your wife, Tasha? She's not just Kennedy's lover. She's a scout. Sam's jaw tightened, but his voice remained steady. Continue. They create a web of complicity. Everyone's implicated. Everyone's compromised. The spouses help identify new targets. The kids get pulled in through drugs or promises of internships. And the medical professionals themselves? They're too exhausted, too focused on saving lives to see what's happening until it's too late. Sam's phone lit up with another text. This one from Ray Lynch. Surveillance confirms everything. Got photos of Kennedy meeting with 3 other doctors' wives at the Beacon. Same pattern. Les. Sam's voice carried a dangerous edge. I need everything you have on their operation. Not just the Boston connections. All of it already compiled. Les handed him a thumb drive. But be careful. Last person who tried to expose them ended up in a car accident. I don't plan on giving them the opportunity. Back at the hospital, Sam reviewed patient charts while his mind processed the information. Wayne Kennedy's operation was more sophisticated than he'd imagined. A predatory system that turned medical professionals' own dedication against them. His phone buzzed again. Tasha, parent-teacher conference for Trevor tomorrow. Can you make it? Sam typed back, of course. His fingers moved with precise purpose. Each letter another piece in his calculated response. In Gloria's office, the divorce papers took shape with ruthless efficiency. Each clause, each provision designed not just to end his marriage, but to create openings for the larger operation to come. They'll fight this, Gloria warned. Kennedy's lawyers are aggressive. Let them. Sam's response carried the confidence of a surgeon who'd never lost a patient. The more they fight, the more evidence they'll expose. His phone lit up with a message from Pamela. Sam, Trevor's here in the ER. Says he needs to talk to you urgently. In the hospital's empty chapel, Trevor paced like a caged animal. Dad, they're planning something. I overheard Mom on the phone with Kennedy. They're moving assets offshore, talking about contingency plans. Sam gripped his son's shoulder. Tell me everything you heard. Word for word. As Trevor recounted the conversation, Sam's expression remained neutral, but his eyes calculated each detail, each implication. The game was accelerating, pieces moving faster on the board. His phone buzzed one final time that night. Les Beard found connection to 3 more hospitals. Same pattern, same players. Ready to move when you are? Sam looked at his son, seeing not just the troubled teenager, but a key piece in the operation to come. Trevor, I need you to trust me. What's about to happen, it's going to get worse before it gets better. What are you going to do? I'm going to teach them the difference between a predator and a hunter. Sam's voice carried the same precision he used in surgery, but now it held something else. The cold calculation of a man preparing to excise a cancer that had spread far beyond his own family. The night stretched ahead, full of purpose and precision. In his office, Sam began composing emails, making calls, setting pieces in motion. The facade was cracking, revealing the rot beneath. But Sam Hurley, the dedicated surgeon and betrayed husband, had become something else, an architect of a different kind of operation, one that would require all his skill, precision, and ruthlessness to complete. Chapter 5. The Unraveling Web. Jenny Ford strode into Boston General's cafeteria with the confidence of someone who'd survived her own war. Her support group for medical professional spouses had started as therapy, but evolved into something more potent, an intelligence network that spanned 3 states. Dr. Hurley, she extended her hand, her grip firm. Your nurse friend Pamela said you needed information about Wayne Kennedy's operation. Sam gestured to the seat across from him. Tell me about your network. 28 survivors so far, all telling the same story. Kennedy's group doesn't just target individuals. They infiltrate entire medical communities. They turn hospitals into hunting grounds. Sam's phone buzzed. Trevor, Dad, Kennedy offered me an internship. Says it's a special opportunity. These opportunities, Sam looked up from his phone. They're part of the patterns? Jenny's expression hardened. They groom the children first. Internships, mentorship programs, sometimes drugs. Create leverage, then use it to ensure silence. My ex-husband didn't believe me until our daughter nearly died from an accidental overdose. Before Sam could respond, another text lit up his screen. Amy, Dad, something weird happened at school. A man asked me about my blog. Said he works with Mom's friends. Sam's fingers tightened around his phone. They're moving faster than expected. They know you're onto them, Jenny warned. This is their pattern. When someone starts asking questions, they accelerate their timeline. Start targeting family members directly. In the school parking lot, Trevor sat behind the wheel of his car, staring at the text from Wayne Kennedy. Think about your future, son. Your father's making some unfortunate choices. We can protect you. His finger hovered over the reply button when a tap on his window made him jump. Margarita Booth, the school counselor, stood there with a concerned expression. Trevor? Everything okay? He rolled down the window, forcing a smile. Yeah, just thinking about Wayne Kennedy's offer? Margarita's question made him freeze. He contacted me for a recommendation letter. Said you were being considered for a special mentorship program. Trevor's hands gripped the steering wheel. I should go. I'm late for. Trevor. Margarita's voice stopped him. Whatever they're offering, whatever they're threatening, you don't have to face it alone. His phone buzzed again. Kennedy, need your answer today. Time-sensitive opportunity. Trevor started the engine, his mind racing. He needed to warn someone. Another doctor's daughter, Kennedy, had mentioned Andrea Chun. But as he pulled out of the parking lot, he didn't notice the black SUV that pulled out behind him. In her room, Amy added another post to her blog. When medical families break, the fractures aren't always visible. Sometimes they're hidden in the spaces between words, in the offers that sound too good to be true, in the silence that follows questions nobody wants to answer. Her screen suddenly filled with comments. Not the usual supportive messages from other medical kids, but probing questions about her identity, her father, her family situation. Her phone lit up. Sam, don't respond to any messages about the blog. Delete nothing. We'll talk tonight. Across town, Cassie Myers, an investigative journalist, read through Amy's blog with growing interest. The pattern she described matched other cases she'd been tracking, medical professionals' families being systematically targeted and exploited. Her phone rang, an unlisted number. Ms. Myers? This is Dr. Samuel Hurley. We need to talk about Wayne Kennedy's organization. In the hospital hallway, Pamela intercepted Sam between surgeries. Sam, Trevor just called the ER asking for you. Sounded scared. Said something about Andrea Chun and Kennedy's offer. Sam's expression darkened. Call Ray. Tell him to track Trevor's phone. Now. His own phone buzzed. An unknown number. Dr. Hurley. Such a shame about Trevor's reckless driving. Young people today, so unpredictable. Would be tragic if anything happened. Perhaps we should discuss your recent inquiries? Sam's response was immediate. Touch my son, and everything I have on your organization goes public. I don't make threats, Kennedy. I make promises. The reply came quickly. Always the surgeon, aren't you? So precise, so controlled. But surgery requires steady hands. Hard to operate when your hands are shaking with worry about your children. Before Sam could respond, another text came through. This one from Ray. Got a location on Trevor. He's headed toward the Chin residence. And he's being followed. Sam's fingers moved across his phone with deadly purpose, setting multiple pieces in motion. First, a text to Ricky Delgado. Need immediate surveillance on Andrea Chin's house. Then to Les Beard. Kennedy made his move. Time to activate the contingency plan. Finally, to Gloria Winters. They're targeting Trevor. Execute Phase 1 now. The game had shifted, pieces moving faster than expected. But Sam Hulley hadn't become one of Boston's top trauma surgeons by being unprepared for complications. His phone buzzed one final time. Jenny Ford, support group meeting tonight. 3 new survivors came forward. They're ready to talk. Sam looked at the message, his expression unchanged, but his eyes calculating. Kennedy thought he was dealing with an exhausted surgeon, too focused on saving lives to protect his own family. He was about to learn the difference between a healer and a hunter. The night stretched ahead, full of possibilities and dangers. In his office, Sam began making calls, activating resources, setting new pieces in motion. The predators who'd turned hospitals into hunting grounds were about to discover they'd chosen the wrong prey. Chapter 6: Collateral Damage. Clint Mayo, Boston General's chaplain, sat in his office reviewing notes from his counseling sessions. 20 years of listening to medical staff's confessions had given him an uncanny ability to spot patterns, and lately, those patterns had turned disturbing. A knock at his door interrupted his thoughts. "Come in." Sam Hurley entered, closing the door behind him. "Father Mayo, we need to talk about Wayne Kennedy." Clint's expression shifted subtly. "You know I can't break confidentiality, Dr. Hurley. I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you to connect the dots you've already seen." The chaplain studied Sam for a long moment before reaching into his desk drawer. 3 months ago, Dr. Chin's wife came to me. Said her daughter Andrea was being groomed for some kind of special program. 2 weeks later, Dr. Chin was dead, apparent suicide. Like my nurse Pamela's sister, Sam noted. And lose Lewis's fiancée. The pattern repeats. Clint spread his counseling notes across the desk, names and dates carefully redacted. Always the same sequence: financial troubles, marital stress, then the offers start. Mentorship programs for the children, special opportunities for the spouses. Sam's phone buzzed. Crystal Nelson, manager of the Beacon Hotel. "Dr. Hurley, found something you need to see. Security footage from the past 6 months. Shows more than just your wife's meetings. Send it to this number." Sam replied, texting her Ray's secure line. "And Crystal? Be careful what you document." "Already am." Her response came quickly. "My sister worked at Memorial when Kennedy's group started there. She tried to warn people. Had an accident in the parking garage." In the hotel security office, Crystal reviewed footage that showed a pattern of meetings, not just between Kennedy and various doctors' wives, but between his associates and vulnerable staff members. Each interaction carefully orchestrated, each target precisely chosen. Her phone rang, an unknown number. "Ms. Nelson, I understand you've been reviewing certain security footage. Perhaps we should discuss your sister's accident. Tragic how slippery those garage stairs can be." Crystal's hand shook slightly, but her voice remained steady. "Everything's already been copied and distributed, Mr. Kennedy. Touch me, and it all goes public." At Riverside Academy, Margarita Booth, the school counselor, compiled her notes on Trevor and Amy Hurley. The signs had been there for months. Trevor's increasing anxiety, Amy's obsessive documentation of family dynamics through her blog. Her office phone rang. Sam Hurley's number. "Ms. Booth, I need everything you have on Wayne Kennedy's contact with the school." "Dr. Hurley, I've been expecting your call." Margarita pulled up files on her computer. Kennedy's mentorship program has targeted 6 students in the past year. All children of medical professionals. All from families showing signs of stress. Names? Trevor Hurley, Andrea Chun, Marcus Lewis, Sarah Winters. The pattern's clear once you see it. They target kids whose parents are too busy saving lives to notice the danger. Sam's voice carried a dangerous edge. "And my daughter? Has Kennedy approached her?" "Not directly, but there have been inquiries about her blog. Someone's been monitoring her posts, asking questions about her family situation." Before Sam could respond, his phone buzzed with another text, this one from Trevor. "Dad, I tried to warn Andrea. They followed me. Car won't start. I think they did something." Sam's response was immediate. Location. "Now. Old Factory District. Near the river." "Dad, I see their car." The call disconnected. Sam's fingers moved across his phone with lethal precision. First, a text array. Trevor's in trouble. Old factory district. Need immediate extraction. Then to Ricky Delgado. Kennedy's people have my son. Time to move. Finally, to Gloria Winters. Execute everything. Now, in her office, Gloria began making calls, setting legal machinery in motion that would cut through Kennedy's defenses like a scalpel through tissue. Sam's phone lit up again. Jenny Ford. Support group members spotted Kennedy's car heading toward the river. Multiple vehicles. The game had accelerated beyond its planned timeline, but Sam Hurley hadn't survived countless trauma surgeries by being unprepared for complications. His phone buzzed one final time. Wayne Kennedy himself. Your son should have taken the internship offer, Sam. Some lessons need to be learned the hard way. Sam's response was cold, precise. You mistake a surgeon's patience for weakness, Kennedy. I don't just cut out disease. I make sure it never grows back. The night stretched ahead, full of danger and possibility. In his office, Sam began activating resources, making calls, setting pieces in motion. The predators who'd turned his hospital into their hunting ground were about to learn that some prey bites back. The facade had cracked completely now, revealing not just individual betrayals, but a systemic cancer that had infected the entire medical community. But Sam Hurley wasn't just a surgeon. He was a hunter who'd been gathering his weapons, preparing to excise this disease with the same ruthless efficiency he used in the operating room. Chapter 7. The Setup. Detective Ronnie Loomis spread the evidence across his desk, each piece connecting to form a pattern of corruption that spanned 3 states. Across from him, Sam Hurley studied the documents with the same intensity he brought to complex surgeries. Your son's drug dealing. Ronnie tapped a file. Kennedy's fingerprints are over it. He didn't just know about it. He orchestrated it. Show me. Ronnie pulled up surveillance photos. Kennedy's been using medical samples as a recruitment tool. Gets the kids hooked, then offers them a way out through his mentorship program. Trevor wasn't just selling drugs. He was unknowingly part of Kennedy's distribution network. Sam's phone buzzed. Gloria Winters. RICO case is ready. Prosecutors in Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island are on board. Just need the final pieces. The prosecutors. Sam looked up from his phone. They understand what we're dealing with. They do now. Ronnie pushed forward another file. Les Beard's investigation uncovered similar operations at 12 hospitals. Same pattern. Identify vulnerable medical professionals, exploit their families, silence anyone who threatens to expose them. In her office, Gloria Winters coordinated with prosecutors via secure video conference. The evidence is comprehensive, she explained. Financial fraud, drug distribution, blackmail, murder disguised as accidents, classic RICO case. And Dr. Hurley? The lead prosecutor asked. He understands the risks? Sam Hurley isn't just a witness. Gloria's voice carried absolute certainty. He's the key to bringing down their entire operation. At Boston General, Kathleen Gordon, the reformist board member, reviewed the hospital's financial records with Gary Valentine. These contract irregularities, she pointed to specific transactions, they all lead back to Wayne Kennedy's foundation. Not just here, Gary pulled up additional files. Same pattern at teaching hospitals across New England. Kennedy's been using charitable foundations to launder money and create slush funds. Dr. Hurley's evidence provides the final connection we needed. Kennedy didn't just corrupt our hospital. He turned the entire medical community into his private hunting ground. Sam's phone lit up with a text from Ray Lynch, surveillance in place. Kennedy's meeting with Alberto Cervantes at the Beacon. Recording everything. In the hotel's security office, Crystal Nelson monitored the feeds. They're discussing contingency plans, she reported to Sam. Kennedy's worried about Trevor. Says he knows too much. Sam's response was immediate. Send everything to Gloria. Time to accelerate the timeline. Back in his office, Sam received another text, this one from Pamela. Trevor's asking about Andrea Chin again. Says Kennedy threatened her family. Sam's fingers moved across his phone, setting multiple pieces in motion. First, to Detective Loomis. Execute the warrant now. Hit all their properties simultaneously. Then to Gloria. File everything. All cases, all jurisdictions. Don't give them time to react. Finally, To Ray, activate all surveillance. I want everything they say, everything they do, recorded and documented. His phone rang. Les Beard. Sam, my sources confirm Kennedy's moving money offshore. He's preparing to run. Let him try. Sam's voice carried the cold precision of a man who'd planned for contingency. The net's already in place. In her office, Kathleen Gordon made the call that would start the avalanche. Yes, this is Gordon. Call an emergency board meeting. Now. And have security ready to escort Wayne Kennedy from the premises. Sam's phone buzzed one final time. Tasha, we need to talk. About Trevor, about everything. His response was brutally precise. No, Tasha. We don't talk anymore. We conclude. The night stretched ahead, each piece of Sam's plan moving into position. The predators who'd turned his hospital into their hunting ground were about to discover that some prey strikes back. Chapter 8. The Fall. Tasha Duke Hurley stood in front of her former home, key card rejected by the newly changed locks. Her perfectly manicured nails clicked against her phone as she dialed Wayne Kennedy's number for the third time. Wayne, things are happening. Sam's done something. I can't get into the house, my credit cards are frozen, and Trevor won't answer my calls. Calm down. Kennedy's voice carried practiced authority. Go to the beacon. I'll handle this. Inside the house, Sam watched through security cameras Ray had installed. His phone buzzed. Detective Loomis. RICO warrants executed. Teams are moving on Kennedy's properties now. In the Beacon's presidential suite, Wayne Kennedy paced as reports flooded in. His phone rang. Alberto Cervantes. They're seizing everything, Wayne. Boston PD just raided my office. They know about the offshore accounts. Shut up, Kennedy hissed. Nothing over the phone. Meet me at... A knock at his door interrupted him. Crystal Nelson stood there, flanked by federal agents. Mr. Kennedy? These officers have some questions about certain security footage. Across town, Trevor sat in a secure location with Ray Lynch, watching the operation unfold through surveillance feeds. His phone lit up with texts from Kennedy's associates. Threats, bribes, desperate attempts to maintain control. They're scared, Ray observed, his military training reading the patterns. Scared people make mistakes. Trevor's fingers gripped his phone as another message came through. This one from Andrea Chun. OMG Trevor. FBI just took my dad's laptop. What's happening? Before he could respond, Sam's contact appeared on his screen. Stay quiet. Let them panic. Everything's recorded. In Gloria Winter's office, prosecutors from 3 states coordinated their attacks via secure video conference. Kennedy's Foundation transactions. One highlighted specific documents. They match exactly with the timeline of suspicious deaths in the medical community. And the RICO charges? Rock solid. Dr. Hurley's evidence, combined with Les Beard's investigation and the support group testimonies. It's comprehensive. They're finished. Sam's phone buzzed. Jenny Ford. Support group members are coming forward. 32 victims so far, all willing to testify. In the hospital boardroom, Kathleen Gordon faced Wayne Kennedy across the polished table. Your resignation, effective immediately. In cooperation with all investigations. You can't do this. Kennedy's practiced smoothness cracked. I built this hospital supply chain. I have friends on the board. Had friends, Kathleen corrected, sliding documents forward. Your friends are cooperating with federal prosecutors as we speak. Sam's phone lit up. Ray Lynch, Kennedy's making moves. Trying to access offshore accounts? Let him, Sam replied. The accounts are already frozen. Let him struggle. In the hotel lobby, Tasha found herself surrounded by federal agents as she approached the elevator to Kennedy's suite. Mrs. Hurley, we need to discuss your role in certain financial transactions. Her phone buzzed. Wayne Kennedy's last message, don't say a word. My lawyers will handle everything. But as she watched Kennedy being led out in handcuffs, reality crashed through her carefully constructed facade. Her phone lit up again. Sam, choose carefully, Tasha. Last chance to get ahead of this. In his office, Sam watched multiple screens showing the simultaneous raids. His phone rang. Detective Loomis, it's done, Sam. Kennedy's entire network is rolled up. But there's something else. Found records of conversations about Diana Parker's death. They didn't just kill her. They made examples of anyone who threatened them. Send everything to Gloria. Sam commanded. Add murder charges to the RICO case. His phone buzzed again. Amy, Dad, Cassie Myers wants to publish my blog posts as part of her expose. She says it shows the pattern from the children's perspective. Your choice, Sam replied. But remember, once it's public, there's no going back. In the federal building downtown, Tasha sat across from prosecutors, her designer outfit contrasting with the stark interrogation room. Wayne Kennedy recorded everything. She revealed, desperation cracking her voice. Said it was insurance. He was going to use me as a scapegoat if anything went wrong. Sam's phone lit up with Gloria's message. Tasha's talking. Everything, the recruitment pattern, the blackmail, the offshore accounts. She's desperate to make a deal. His response was cold. Let her talk. Add her testimony to the evidence. But no deals. The night stretched ahead, years of careful planning culminating in a synchronized strike that cut through the predatory network like a surgeon's blade. In his office, Sam watched the pieces fall, each revelation adding to the weight of evidence that would bury Wayne Kennedy and his associates. His phone buzzed one final time. Pamela Mahoney. Sam, it's over. They're all in custody. Your family is safe. But Sam Hurley knew better. Safety wasn't just about removing threats. It was about ensuring they could never return. His revenge wasn't just about punishment. It was about systematic destruction of a predatory network that had infected the medical community for too long. Chapter 9. Aftermath and Healing. 6 months later, Trevor stood at a podium in Boston General's auditorium, addressing a room full of medical professionals and their families. I thought I was alone. His voice carried strength where fear used to live. We all did. That's how they operated. Isolating us, making us think we had nowhere to turn. In the audience, Sam watched his son with quiet pride. The rehabilitation program had done more than clean Trevor's system of Kennedy's drugs. It had given him purpose, turning his experience into a weapon against future predators. His phone buzzed. Jenny Ford. Support groups now officially registered as an advocacy organization. Board wants you as medical advisor. Across town, Amy sat with Cassie Myers, reviewing the impact of her blog's publication. Your posts gave others courage, Cassie explained. We've received hundreds of messages from medical professionals' children sharing similar stories. And the funding? Amy asked, her teenager's face serious with purpose. Wayne Kennedy's seized assets are being used to establish support programs nationwide. Your network will help others recognize the warning signs before it's too late. In the hospital's administrative offices, Pamela Mahoney met with fellow nurses, establishing new protocols for identifying and preventing exploitation. We watch for the patterns now, she explained. The late-night meetings, the sudden lifestyle changes, the children showing signs of stress. Her phone lit up. Sam, board approved the new security measures. Ricky's implementing them immediately. Ricky Delgado stood in his security office, surrounded by screens showing the hospital's new monitoring system. No more blind spots, he demonstrated to visiting administrators from other hospitals. No more using medical facilities as hunting grounds. His phone buzzed. Luz Lewis, software's working perfectly. Already flagged 3 suspicious contract patterns at Memorial. In her new office, Luz ran diagnostics on the detection program she developed. Lines of code scrolled across her screen, each algorithm designed to catch the patterns she'd learned from Kennedy's operation. The program identifies irregularities in real time, she explained to visiting IT specialists. Contract anomalies, unusual access patterns, suspicious financial transactions. Anything that matches known predatory behaviors. Sam's phone lit up with a message from Detective Loomis. Final sentencing today. Kennedy got life. No possibility of parole. In the federal courthouse, Gloria Winters watched as Wayne Kennedy was led away in chains. Her phone buzzed. Sam, any word from Tasha? Still trying to negotiate, Gloria replied. But with the RICO charges and her role in Kennedy's operation, she's facing 20 years minimum. Back at Boston General, Sam stood in his office, reviewing applications for the hospital's new mentorship program. Legitimate this time, designed to support medical professionals' children with proper oversight and transparency. His phone rang. Kathleen Gordon, board's implementing your suggestions nationwide. Teaching hospitals across the country are adopting our protective protocols. In the support group's new headquarters, Jenny Ford led a session for recent survivors. The patterns haven't changed, she explained. But now we have the tools to recognize them, the resources to fight back, and the network to support each other. Her phone lit up with a message from Trevor, speaking at Memorial next week. 3 more kids came forward about Kennedy's old associates. Sam's phone buzzed one final time. Amy, Dad, check the blog. We're trending. Medical kids worldwide are sharing their stories. In his office, Sam read through the posts. The predatory system he'd helped expose wasn't unique to Boston. Similar networks had infected medical communities across the globe. But now, thanks to his calculated revenge, they faced a new reality. Victims connected, supported, and ready to fight back. The night shift that had once hidden so much deception now symbolized something else: vigilance, awareness, protection. Sam Hurley had done more than take revenge. He'd helped create a framework to protect future generations of medical families from predators like Wayne Kennedy. His phone lit up with one last message. Pamela Mahoney, new resident asking about signs of exploitation in medical families. Told her to talk to you. Sam looked at the message, then at the younger doctors passing his office. His revenge had served its purpose, not just punishing the guilty, but creating lasting change. The predators who'd turned hospitals into hunting grounds would find no more easy prey, no more silent victims, no more hidden hunting grounds. The night stretched ahead, but now it carried promise instead of threat. In trauma rooms across the country, medical professionals worked their shifts knowing that someone was watching their backs, protecting their families, standing guard against those who would exploit their dedication. Sam Hurley had transformed from surgeon to hunter to guardian. His calculated revenge had accomplished more than personal justice. It had exposed and helped dismantle a predatory system targeting vulnerable medical families nationwide. The support networks and protective systems born from his family's tragedy would help countless others avoid similar fates, turning a story of betrayal into one of systemic change and healing. Epilogue: 5 years later. Dr. Samuel Hurley stood at the podium in Boston Medical Conference Center, addressing a packed auditorium of medical professionals, administrators, and family members. At 50, his presence commanded even more respect than before, his experiences having forged him into something beyond just a surgeon. 5 years ago, we exposed a predatory network that had infected our medical community, his voice carried to the back of the hall. Today, we gather to ensure it never happens again. In the front row, Trevor Hurley, now 22 and in his second year of law school, watched his father with pride. His own transformation from troubled teen to advocate for medical families' rights had become a symbol of recovery and resistance. Dr. Hurley, a young resident, raised her hand during the Q&A. How do we identify these predatory patterns early? By understanding their methodology, Sam replied. They target exhaustion, isolation, and dedication. The very qualities that make medical professionals excellent at saving lives make them vulnerable to exploitation. After the presentation, Sam checked his phone. A message from Pamela Mahoney, now Chief Nursing Officer at Boston General. Protection protocols just flagged another attempt. New board member tried to set up private meetings with staff families. Security shut it down immediately. In her office at Boston General, Pamela reviewed the alert with Ricky Delgado, who had expanded his role to Director of Medical Community Security Services, overseeing protection protocols for multiple hospitals. The software Luz developed caught it, Ricky explained, showing Pamela the data. Same pattern Kennedy used to use, targeting new residents with family stress indicators. And the board member? Already removed. Background check revealed connections to one of Kennedy's old associates. No second chances, no exceptions. Across campus, Amy Hurley, now 19 and a pre-med student at Harvard, managed her expanded network from a dedicated office space. Her blog had evolved into Med Family Shield, a comprehensive support and monitoring system for medical professionals' families. Latest statistics, she explained to a visiting journalist. 300 attempted infiltrations identified and stopped in the past year alone. The predators are still out there, but now we see them coming. Her phone buzzed. Trevor, Just finished reviewing the latest case files. Kennedy's trying to appeal again from prison. Let him try, Amy texted back. Gloria's team is ready. In her downtown office, Gloria Winters had transformed her practice into the Medical Family Protection Law Center, specializing in defending medical professionals and their families from exploitation. Her wall displayed framed newspaper headlines documenting Kennedy's failed appeals. They're getting desperate, she told Sam during their weekly meeting. Kennedy's old network keeps trying to rebuild, but the defensive systems we put in place catch them before they can establish footholds. And Tasha? Sam asked, his voice carrying no emotion for his ex-wife. Still serving her sentence. Her latest petition for early release was denied. The testimony she provided helped convict others, but the board wasn't impressed with her attempts to minimize her own role. At the headquarters of the Medical Community Protection Network, formerly Jenny Ford's support group, dozens of advocates coordinated responses to potential threats across the country. We've expanded to 30 states, Jenny explained during a video conference with international medical organizations. The pattern recognition software identifies suspicious activities in real time, allowing us to intervene before families are compromised. Her screen showed a map dotted with monitoring stations, each one staffed by survivors turned guardians. A message popped up from Luz Lewis, now Chief of Medical Technology Security. New algorithm deployment successful. Systems identifying threat patterns 40% faster. In her state-of-the-art security center, Luz monitored hospital networks nationwide. The trauma of losing her fiancé had been transformed into a mission to protect others. Her technical expertise creating digital shields around medical communities. The predators are adapting, she explained to her team, but so are we. Each attempted infiltration teaches our system to recognize new patterns. Detective Ronnie Loomis, promoted to head of a specialized unit dealing with medical community crimes, coordinated with Sam regularly. 5 years, he mused during their monthly security review, and not one successful infiltration at any protected hospital. They're still trying, though, Sam noted, reviewing the latest threat assessments. Different tactics, same predatory instincts. Last month, they attempted to penetrate through medical equipment suppliers, just like Kennedy did. But now we have safeguards. At Boston General, Gary Valentine had implemented revolutionary administrative protocols that became the standard for medical institutions nationwide. His office walls displayed certifications from hospitals that had adopted his security measures. The key was understanding their methodology, he explained to visiting administrators. They exploited our dedication to patient care, used our long hours and stress against us. Now those same patterns trigger immediate security responses. In the hospital's IT department, Luz's team monitored real-time data flows, their screens displaying complex patterns of hospital operations. Any deviation from established protocols triggered immediate investigation. Latest attempt, a tech reported, tried to access staff family records through the billing system. Got shut down before they cleared the first firewall. Ray Lynch, Sam's brother, had expanded his security consulting firm to specialize in medical community protection. His military experience proved invaluable in recognizing and countering infiltration attempts. They're not just predators anymore, he told Sam during their weekly security briefing. They're prey. Every attempt to penetrate our defenses reveals more of their network, allows us to identify and neutralize more threats. Crystal Nelson, promoted to Director of Security Operations at the Beacon Hotel Group, had implemented special protocols for medical conferences and events. Her sister's death had driven her to create a comprehensive protection system for medical professionals away from their home institutions. Latest attempt, she reported to Sam, tried to infiltrate through a pharmaceutical conference. Targeted 3 doctors with troubled marriages, just like Kennedy's old playbook. Security flagged it before they made first contact. Trevor's law school focus on medical family protection law had created a new legal specialty. His personal experience combined with legal expertise made him a powerful advocate for strengthening protections. The predators aren't gone, he explained to his study group. They've just lost their hunting grounds. Each attempted infiltration strengthens our defensive network. Clint Mayo, the hospital chaplain, had developed a comprehensive counseling program specifically designed to support medical families. His office served as both sanctuary and early warning system, his experience helping him identify potential threats to family stability. "The patterns haven't changed," he told Sam during their monthly review, "but now we recognize them. The isolation, the stress, the subtle signs of exploitation, they're all red flags now." In the hospital's new resident orientation, Pamela Mahoney shared her sister's story as a warning and a promise. "What happened to Catherine will never happen again," she assured the young doctors. "We've built a protection system that turns their predatory patterns against them." Sam's phone buzzed with a message from Andrea Chun, now a medical student herself. "Dad wanted you to know, Kennedy's old associate tried recruiting at our hospital. Security protocols caught him immediately. The system works." At his desk, Sam reviewed the latest statistics. 5 years, 0 successful infiltrations, hundreds of attempts stopped, dozens of predatory networks exposed and dismantled. His revenge had evolved into something more powerful, a comprehensive defense system protecting medical families nationwide. His phone lit up with another message. "Amy, Dad, check this out. MedFamily Shield just went international. 3 major European hospital systems are implementing our protection protocols." In the trauma center where it all began, Sam performed surgery with the same precision that had made him renowned, but now he operated in a different environment. The night shifts that had once hidden so much deception now showcased a new reality. Medical professionals protected by layers of security, their families shielded by systems born from his calculated revenge. Margarita Booth, still counseling at Riverside Academy, but now heading a nationwide network of school counselors trained to recognize exploitation attempts, reported regularly to the Protection Network. "The children are our best early warning system," she explained during a training session. "They see the patterns first, just like Amy did. Now we know how to listen." Les Beard's investigation firm had expanded into a national network of specialized units focused on medical community protection. His father's destruction had sparked a mission that now safeguarded thousands. "Kennedy's playbook," he told his investigators, "became our instruction manual. Everything they used to exploit, we turned into warning signs. Everything they used to hide, we transformed into red flags." In federal prison, Wayne Kennedy's influence had evaporated. His attempts to maintain control through intermediaries repeatedly failed, each one caught by the very systems his actions had inspired. Latest appeal denied, Gloria reported to Sam. His network's assets are still being liquidated to fund protection programs. Poetic justice. The Medical Community Protection Network headquarters hummed with activity, screens displaying real-time monitoring of hospitals nationwide. Jenny Ford's vision had expanded beyond support into active defense. 5 years ago, she told new advocates, we were isolated victims. Now we're connected guardians. The predators haven't changed their nature, but we've changed the hunting grounds. Sam's revenge had transformed into a legacy of protection, his calculated destruction of Kennedy's network providing the blueprint for defending future generations of medical families. The night shifts that had hidden predators now showcased the strength of united defenders. His phone buzzed one final time, a message from Trevor. "Dad, remember when you said some prey bites back? We did more than bite back. We changed the entire ecosystem." In his office, Sam allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. The predators who'd once turned hospitals into hunting grounds now found themselves hunted, their every move anticipated, their every pattern recognized. His ability of dismantling Kennedy's network had created something unprecedented, a medical community that was no longer prey but protector, no longer vulnerable but vigilant. The night stretched ahead, but now it carried promise instead of threat. In trauma rooms across the country, medical professionals worked their shifts knowing they were protected, their families shielded, their dedication guarded by systems born from one man's relentless pursuit of justice. Sam Hurley had transformed from surgeon to hunter to architect of a new reality. His calculated revenge had accomplished more than personal justice. It had created a lasting legacy of protection, turning a story of betrayal into a blueprint for systematic defense against those who would prey on healers and their families. As he prepared for another surgery, Sam knew that his greatest operation had been the one that transformed the entire medical community from hunting ground to fortress, from vulnerable to vigilant, from prey to protector. The night shifts that had once hidden so much deception now showcase something else. The power of calculated revenge transformed into lasting protection. And there you have it. Another story comes to an end. What did you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this story, consider joining our community by subscribing. It means the world to us. For more stories like this one, check out the recommended videos on screen. And I'll see you there.